It's the greatest. It's
your
because I
favorite-
get to be with you.
It's your favorite day.
That's not true.
Don't close that one.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, we were. You'll appreciate this. Jeff goes, well, I do feel old. He goes, I feel old when I hear 16th year head coach at Virginia, Tony Bennett. So, if you'll start, take us down memory lane.
Sure.
What do you remember about when you first took this job and the first weeks on this job?
What the hell am I doing? That was what I remember. no, like, I can't believe. No, for real. I'll tell you why I took it. You bring up a great memory because literally I was at Washington State and it was just, man, there's a chance at Virginia. And I said it's a school that kind of I always marveled and liked Stanford when I was in the Pac-10, a school that values the academic experience. Obviously, the you can compete at the highest level, but I just wanted a chance to see if I could build a program as a coach and go against some of the Hall of Famers. Coach K, Coach Williams, both Coach Williams at the time, Coach Boeheim, Coach Pitino, and in a league that had some of the elite blue bloods. Like, can I go to Virginia? Don't know if I can, but can we do it in our way that'll probably be different than the way others do it and see if we can build a successful program? That was my hope. I mean, Jeff, you've been at my office. I got my poster, a Rocky up on the wall, and it's just like, can we get a chance at a title fight? That was the thing. So I tried to, in my mind, the excitement of that, not knowing, and then to see it play out. But, yeah, the first few weeks in the job, you're just trying to establish, who's with us and who's not with us and build your foundation and get your staff together. But it is like drinking from a fire hose, as you say. When you're a new coach, if you haven't done that at a rebuilding job, it's a lot. But grateful I did it.
I mean, what you've done over 16 years is insane. It really is. I mean, the consistency that you've had. I mean, I remember tweeting out your record in ACC play through like a 8-year span. You, Kay, Roy, Boeheim, and yours was number one, which, I mean, that's a testament. Did you ever think you'd do that? Be above Kay, Roy, and Boeheim with the ACC record. Last year obviously didn't end the way. It really wasn't the team offensively that you probably would have liked.
Yep.
You went out in the portal, which is crazy because you and I have talked about the changing landscape of college basketball, and I think you've leaned into the portal because you have no choice. Probably not your preference, but you've done it because, frankly, if you're going to stay in this, you have to. I think you've addressed a lot in this portal, especially in the offensive end. You brought in my guy TJ Power, who I can't wait to find out how he's doing. Yeah. How different is this team going to look?
Yeah, I think this is we lose two terrific players in Reese Beekman and Ryan Dunn, two of the best defensive players in the league, and the things that Reese pretty much had to do a lot. This will be a different looking team. Will it be better? Time will tell. I mean, that team last year, I know we struggled, but they did end up finishing third and got a bid. Now, we got blown out 7 or 8 times, and unfortunately, one of the worst times was the NCAA Tournament game, but because of how they were, there was a ceiling there, but they did max out to get that opportunity. So we said we think we have to find some shooting and ability to stretch the floor. That was what our Achilles heel was at times last year. People kind of figured out how to guard us, and they really jammed up the lane and dared, us to take outside shots. So when we struggled to shoot, it was a problem. I think we've addressed that with some of the guys we brought in. I think we'll look different offensively this year. Everybody says, are you going to be running and gunning? I'm like, oh, yeah. If we have the ball more than 5 seconds, then we're making a mistake. I'm like, what? You believe that? I got a bridge to sell you. So, but we are going to – I think the floor, at least should be more spaced. We'll take some more threes because I think we have more shooting in more spots. Now, we added Jalen Worley, who can play some point guard really for us, who can really defend. It's an inexperienced team like most coaches, but it's a team that the core of it should be together for 2 years, and that's kind of how I'm looking at this, is in a 2-year increment. Finally, the COVID year will be done after this year. I think we all know it's time for that to go away, right? That should have been gone. So I think not taken for granted this year, but next year there'll be no more 5th, 6th, 7th year guys. You're going to have a legitimate 4-year programs, and if you have a team that has got some continuity, that's got juniors and seniors, that to me is the way you kind of keep how you did it in the past but have improvised it or changed it. So, again, this year's team, you'll see more spacing. I hope more effective three-point shooting. It's one thing to shoot it, it's another to make it. We all know the difference. So, and I'm sure there'll be days, and hopefully we'll hold on to a lot of the good things that we've always tried to do.
You've set yourself apart, obviously, national championship, this, that, and a third, great ACC record. What is it when you're bringing in new players? Your attention to detail is what sets you apart, but you've been able to pound those details home for 2-3 years before guys get going. How has it been to get Jalen Worley to get completely buy into those things, to get Elijah Saunders, who's kind of has a head start for what he did at San Diego State, excuse me. How is it teaching those principles that you guys rely on so much to some of these older guys that are coming in anew?
Yeah, that's a challenge. I think you see the guys, you just see it, who've either, even if they're not some of your top guys, if they've had a year in your system or two, you see they're just a little more natural, a little more instinctual. So that is the challenge, and you do it through your training, and you just kind of grind away and over time. And that's why I think if the majority of guys have multiple years when you bring them in, I think that's essential. At least I think it's for most programs. I mean, every now and then you need to plug one guy and he's going to be gone, but that is the challenge. If they come from programs, you mentioned Elijah Saunders, who comes from a program that they valued possessions, hard nose, efficient play. That all helps, and guys that are willing and hungry. But that's kind of what everyone is facing.
Has Kevin Keats sent you a thank you note yet?
How about that? No, and I'm so happy for him, right? But remarkable, and obviously that McConnell hit the shot. You can go back and play that out. But had that not happened, who knows? They weren't going to get in the tournament. Who knows? So to see their run, great for the league, obviously, and for him, I'm happy. And
it's part of the magic of March, right? Like when you guys had your run to the national titles, if Kihei doesn't make that pass, if Kyle Guy doesn't make those 3 threes, I think weren't you down like 6 with 6 minutes left to Oregon? In the Sweet, like
Dauster's big on hypotheticals.
No, it was just it was there was a level of. Let's put it like this. If you had made a movie that said Virginia loses as the first number 1 seed, then comes back and has all these crazy things happen on their run, I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter hit a 3 to force overtime in the national championship game.
Yeah, John Feinstein, after we won it, he said almost word for word, which he goes, if I wrote this script from your UMBC game then to this last national championship game, and I said, here you go, Disney, make a movie. They say, it's too unbelievable.
Yes.
That ain't going to fly. That's a little too dramatic.
And
so that is cool. Now, that is the beauty of it. And I hope in our conference realignment and all the power conferences, I do hope that the NCAA tournament, maybe it adjusts, maybe it moves a little bit in certain ways, but, man, you sure hope that it doesn't lose that.
The magic of it.
Because if it becomes just only how we could go, I mean, it'd still be great in a lot of ways, but not that stuff.
We need to keep it the way it is.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think with this team? You said there's a lot that's different with this particular roster, and you said, will we be better? Well, time will tell. If you are better, what is that particular thing or two things that you're wondering about with your group?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, we will be rock solid defensively, even though we lost 2 great defenders. So if you can't get stops, you can't win at this level. I mean, you can talk all you want, but then offensively there'll be, the ability to put the ball in the basket, shooting it, from the 3-point line, and we're effective that way. But I think, can we defend at a high enough level with what we lost? And then obviously, stretching the floor. I've been fortunate to have good point guard play since John Telvins, London Parentes, Malcolm Brogdon, Ty Jerome, Kihei Clark, Reese Beekman, all 4-year guys. To Ty was 3-year. And so now all of a sudden this is the first time we're new. So, by committee, Worley can play it from Florida State. Actually, Andrew Rohde's done a good job playing some of it. Day-Day Ames can play it some. Christian Bliss has been injured, but by committee we'll have to handle that. So I think that will be another thing. Can we handle that point guard play? And,
all right, I was told never to ask a double-barrel question, but I'm going to do it quickly. TJ Power, fellow Massachusetts guy, not a masshole. He's too nice.
You got a man crush? Is that what I'm going on here?
That's too much.
Absolutely. Number 2, have you fired Kyle Guy yet?
Hey, I should. When he is in practice, you talk about dominating in practice. Oh, it's awesome. He really is in his prime, and when we had an opening, I said, Kyle, he kind of approached me about it. and he said, I want to finish my degree, which is no small thing, right? And he said, I really like playing, he said, but I feel like my true strengths and gifts are mentorship. He said, I really would like to come and help be part of mentoring these kids. How you can't find a better mentor for a TJ, for a Isaac McNeely. So in practice, and he can compete in practice, and our guys talk a little trash to him, and he puts on shows which remind me why we had that magical run. He has a gift that not many have with his shooting. I think I'm shocked he didn't stick longer in the NBA with the way the game is.
He was having a great career in Spain.
No, making a lot of money, which tells you his desire to come back. And, who knows? I said, let's take this a year at a time. Get your degree, see if you like this, but special to have. And I have Isaiah Wilkins, too, and Chase Coleman, so some recent players that are, it's a way to, since I'm so old, we got to have some young guys that can communicate with the players.
How's TJ done?
He's done well,
When I saw him last year, I felt like he lost his swagger right away in preseason at Duke. I kind of told him that.
Yep.
I don't know where it went, because remember when we saw him on
this sounds like an Old Spice commercial getting ready to happen right now, Isn't that the swagger? Is that right? Yeah, I think we got maybe you and TJ could star in that together.
He was so good at the Peach Jam.
Yeah.
He was so good, and he knew he was so good.
Yeah, no.
He'd been able to get that back.
TJ, the cool thing about TJ is we recruited TJ. He was one of our top targets out of high school, so we know him well. And obviously he had a great Peach Jam, and Duke got involved, and he decided to go there and didn't have as many opportunities. They had so many talented guys, so I think he's just looking for opportunity, and he'll have that plenty. And he's looked good. He's shown those flashes, and he's just a sophomore, and that's what I like. He's going to get better, and he's complete. He can pass the ball. He can do things. He's working on, guarding and sliding and doing all that stuff. But it'll be fun to watch his evolution, and he's done a good job.
We appreciate the time. I have several people right behind you that are ready to take you to your next destination.
Thank God. Enough of me.
And we have ended with the third question on TJ Power. There will not be a fourth.